Hello, everyone. My name is Mary, and today I'd like to do a tarot card reading for the entire human collective for the current energies and basically what we need to know to move forward in the best and highest possible way. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mercury is about to come out of retrograde. Things are going to move forward. I have a feeling that things are going to shift and change pretty quickly, and we're going to find ourselves in 2023 before we know it, and with an entirely different type of landscape. Our lives are going to look a little different. I feel like things are gearing up to shift and change. So what do we need to know to enter this time in our lives with the best and highest possible energy? So that was my intention. I already shuffled the cards. So let's take a look at what we have. All right. So I shuffled, but I did not cut. So I'm going to cut the cards right now. What do we need to know for the month ahead, for the changes ahead, for the entire human collective, for our best and highest good? All right, let's see what we have. All right, this is a good one to start with. I feel like this is where we want to be, you know? It's like, why wouldn't you want this? This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is abundance. This is all the love and the joy and the, material wealth and abundance, the material things, the friends, sorry if I'm moving it out of frame. All the things that you might want in your life to make it happy, your friends, your companions, your money, your job, your home, your everything, all the things that you can see and experience. I'm thinking that what I'm getting is that this is a reminder, for us that the world is an abundant place and everything we need is right here, right in front of us. Even if you're not like currently seeing that, even if you're not seeing the perfect job or the perfect house or even, any kind of house. Maybe you're on the hunt for a house or on the hunt for a place to live. Maybe your physical world isn't quite in line with where you'd like it to be. I feel like the angels are reminding us that this is an abundant world. This is an abundant world, and we have infinite resources available to us from God, through God, and there are people in our lives that can help bring that to us. That this is a reminder that abundance and the beauty of the physical world is true and real, and stops, if you're seeing all the darkness and the evil, that doesn't mean it's not there and we don't have to fix that or work on that. It just means that where we truly are, the truth of the world is that this is a gorgeous, abundant, beautiful world. A world in which our dreams can be made manifest, a world in which our homes and our lives and our bodies can be healed and whole and perfect. That is possible here. And if you don't see that as possible, really take that into your soul right now. Really take that into your heart that yes, it is possible. My perfect, dream life is a possibility here. It really is. Maybe someone else is living that life right now and not you. But it's possible. If it's possible for that person, it's possible for you. You can make it happen. It's here. It's real. It's happening. Our challenge card is Justice. Oh, yes. Oh, that's real. That's a real thing here. So the Justice card tells us that our challenge right now is making things right. Things have been not right for a while for a lot of people. And when something's not right for you or a friend or even a stranger, it's not right for some part of the entire human collective. If it's not right for them, that doesn't mean, whatever, that's them. And I mean, I'm okay, they're not okay, but that's all right. That's not how it goes. We have to all join together. We have to see that the world is one complete place. And it may be difficult for you, for any one person to make things right for the homeless or the disadvantaged, or for children who are being abused, or all the many groups that we all, weep for. Or maybe even it's yourself. Maybe you're being downtrodden in some way. Maybe your life has been like, well, this hasn't been fair for me. When something's not right for any part of the human collective, it's not right for the whole of the human collective, because we can't be whole. We have to join together and try to make things right for each other. And that includes the earth. That includes doing the right thing for the earth when we can. That includes educating ourselves on the type of practices that our favorite companies are employing, and is that fitting with where our hearts are, educating ourselves, trying to find the answer and make things right. But also I'm getting the sense that our challenge is not to make things right. Our challenge is to see what's right, to see that all of us deserve a fair chance. And a fair chance means that we that we have a chance at it. It's not like it's going to be given to you. You have to go and get it and find it and claim it for yourself. If someone hurts you or does something bad to you, and you don't, follow through and file the lawsuit, or try write a letter, make things, if you don't actually say, hey, that's not right, I deserve this, then nothing's gonna happen, And so justice is here to sweep through the world and try and correct things, and we've got to join into that and help make things right before karma, does it for us. It's like in the Bible, I think there's this story of, if you're on the way to the judge, try to settle up with your neighbor, your brother, before you get there, so that you can stand before the judge and say, okay, we made things right, we're good. Because how karma is going to settle it may not be as comfortable as how, how you would settle it with your brothers and sisters and your friends and your neighbors. And so forgiveness, seeing where something is needed, where your help is needed, where justice is needed. I feel like things are going to shift also karmically, possibly coming up in this next month. That might be hard for us to deal with. It might change and upset this sort of perfect world, or this sort of, at least the world we've gotten used to, that we're living in. I feel like the justice card is going to correct some things. Another message here is I'm getting, get ready, folks. Justice is coming through. If someone was getting away with something before, they may not going forward. So look into your own heart and find out what you're doing that you can shift and change and do right and do better. Where can you do better by your friends and your neighbors and the people in your life? Where can you settle up and say, I'm sorry, and really start to make things right? Because justice has a way of correcting the scales, possibly in a way that, might be disruptive. And so it's best for us to take that initiative. All right, so, oh yeah, judgment. I feel like everything I just said is kind of on par with this. This is exactly what's going on. So coming up in this next month, this card represents, in this position in my readings, the underlying energies, the energies that we don't see that are influencing us. So judgment is all about karma. That's all about this. That's all. So justice is balancing the scales, whereas judgment is all about, it's the come around. It's the 360. It's what goes around comes around. It's like, how is it gonna be for you when you do have to stand before the judge and account for your actions, how is it going to feel when you do have to pay up, when your soul when your soul meets God, and you're like, how, and God's like, what did you do? What did you do for my people? What are you going to say? How is that going to go? And I feel like we're all being put on the path of answering to that, of finding a way to get whole. The judgment is, in my view, all about the idea of becoming whole and true and good, and bringing all the parts of ourselves together and presenting it before God, before the divine. It's not being in separation anymore. That's the opposite of judgment. Living in separation, where you're just doing your thing and maybe you get away with stuff and maybe you don't. That's the opposite of judgment. This is all about, coming together with the divine, where the divine is calling us forward, and we have to be ready to find out where our divinity lies, to where our goodness lies, to see where our truth lies, and to be totally ready to come together with all of God's children. There is a rectification, there's a resolution, there's something pushing us towards, a culmination point in this next month. This sounds like big stuff is happening. I really hope this sounds good to me, like, bringing about change in a divine way, where God is like settling up and bringing us all into oneness. That sounds good for the people who are doing, good stuff, but it doesn't sound so good if you have some things to deal with. So you better deal with this justice card. You better make things right in your life. You better apologize and come and get your soul clean, and accept God's love and forgiveness in your life, because what's coming about is a major shift for all of us. So that's very karmically happening for us, I think. Consciously, I believe this card represents, this is the Knight of Swords, and this in my readings represents the conscious influences, our decision, what we're shooting for, what we're focused on, what we kind of want, or consciously what's in our mind. And right now I feel it's the defining ourselves. We're in a space where we're defining ourselves. We're finding that we don't really, we're not happy with just sitting by the sidelines and waiting for life to tell us who we are. We're waiting for other people, other groups, governments, institutions to tell us who we are. We're ready to take up our sword of truth and say, this is who I am, this is who we are, this is who we want to be. And also the Knight of Swords is not just on an individual level. I feel it's on a collective level. It's a group dynamic almost. It's our team, it's our troop, the collective, the human collective. Who are we? Let's define ourselves. Let's find a way to really stand up for our truth, and stand up for the fact that other people's truth might be a little bit different, that what might be important to someone else is not that important to you, and yet we're all fighting for what we want and how we want to live. And it's action oriented. We're taking action on ourselves. We're going to, and I feel like this next month is going to be I'm getting a roller coaster. That's what I'm feeling. Like we are going into battle. We're going into battle to make decisions about ourselves and about what we want and how we want it. And the time has come to, the time is up. Do you ever play a board game? Like in our family, when we sometimes play board games or like Trivia Pursuit or something, where there's a thought process that needs to happen. Inevitably, someone in my family is like, all right, someone start a timer. You need to give us an answer now. It's like, that's the energy I'm feeling. It's like, okay, time's almost up here, folks. We need to make a decision on where we go, where we're going, and who we are, everything that we weren't so happy with. And it seems to be just sort of be, existing. We need to make decisions, take action. What do we want? Who are we? I think we've ruminated about it long enough. There's been a long enough time of just us sort of like, okay, what are we doing here? Now it's like time to act. It's time to make a decision and just move forward with that. So, no, this is on this side. I have it upside down to me. So this represents the past. So I'm now looking at the timeline that we're on. Queen of Wands, divine feminine awakening. That's what I'm getting here, is that there has been a shift. Somebody I listened to recently on YouTube was talking about how what's happening as far as the feminine energies joining into the feminine energies rising hasn't been sort of like a disconnect. Like a lot of us feel like, oh, the masculine has been in control for so long, and now the feminine is rising up. And this person, and I forget who it was, if I could remember who it was, I would love to give them credit. But it was all about how, no, that's actually not what's happened in the past. All these years of what we think was like this masculine dominated society, and women are, are second class. And, it's only like 100 years ago that women got the right to vote in this country, in the United States of America. It's like, it's 2022. That happened in 1920. So a little over 100 years ago. That's not long. So it seems like, oh, the masculine was all this, all this, and the feminine was not so powerful. Well, that's not how it was. This person was saying, no, both masculine and the feminine were toxic and unhealthy. Like the masculine is not supposed to be this, domineering, angry sort of, it's my way or the highway. Masculine energy is generous and loving, and the generous leader, and a structural energy that helps everybody to rise and helps everybody. It's not a dominant, punishing energy. It's strong, and it will make things right when it needs to, but in general it's loving towards the feminine. It's uplifting towards the feminine. And so all this time, it's been the masculine and the feminine has been toxic and imbalanced. And now we're coming into a place where we're finding that balance. And so masculine and feminine energies are both finding who they are and what they are. And just for the record, we have them both inside us. It's that yin yang thing that happens in every sort of structure and organization, this balance of masculine, feminine energies. As an entity and as a soul, we each have that balance, and have got to look into it. So on the timeline we're on, we have found a new respect for how the feminine informs us spiritually, for how the feminine informs us in our souls and in our creativity, and in how we want to move forward, and in our ideas for the future, and our spirit. And we're souls on fire with honoring the feminine now, and really taking that into account in a new way. That has happened. That has definitely happened. It's kind of upset the whole thing, because now there's all this, what are we, feminine or masculine? Are we both? Are we, we as people, how do we balance that within ourselves and yet display that in a healthy way in all parts of our lives? And so the feminine has risen up, the spiritual has risen up and given us a nurturing hug, as a people, as a world, as a globe. And we're on a timeline headed towards something good, something great, in fact. And it's really been started by this beautiful spiritual feminine energy. I feel like also the Queen of Wands indicates receptivity, a loving receptivity of the soul, where our spiritual lives are no longer, dictated by rules and regulations, where we are realizing that we can become a little bit more receptive and nurturing instead of punishing towards people, and how to correct our societies. I feel like this is important for us to remember, that this is an energy we're looking for, and looking to find a place for. Oh my gosh. So this is the Two of Wands. So definitely a spiritual, we're on a spiritual timeline. We're on a fiery timeline, taking us somewhere great. So the Two of Swords is a card of moving up, moving on, taking a step forward. It's like two legs walking, and we're in one place, and now we're moving forward to some other place. And it doesn't mean that where we were is no good. It just means that we are ready to move on. So the timeline we're on is this spiritual up leveling, that we're spiritually and creatively ready for more. We're ready for more. We're ready for this, expanded place. So the Two of Wands is about a soul who's had it pretty good. This person here has the world in their hands. They're richly clad. They're looking out over their lands, and they're standing on a beautiful veranda. They're not in a bad place. They're in a good place, but there's something better. There's something better to be had. And we are now realizing that there is something better. There's something more. We're on a spiritual timeline. We're moving forward. We have realized and been helped by and inspired by the divine feminine, this feminine spirituality, which has helped us to see the abundance around us, and the possibility around us, and all of the potential around us. And we're going to move forward to something great. We're ready to take that step. So the next month is going to involve, on the collective and maybe on the individual level, challenges for you. Like, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're ready to do? Where is it that you want to walk forward and say, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to walk forward into this. This is not what I've experienced in the past. This is something I'm moving on to. Where I've been in the past is good. That's not, we're not saying it wasn't. We're saying it's time for you to take another step, to bring into your life a new energy, new vistas, new verandas, a new point of view. It's this energy of, here's where I am, this is where I want to be. It's this pull to something more. And so the past and the future are spiritual cards, the wands, the energy of spirit and fire, and inspiration. And as always, the future and the past, these are just time. This is just a possibility. This is just a possible timeline that we're looking at. This is not, hard and fast, like this is how it is. This is not how it is. This is just a glimpse based on the current energies where we are now. And anything could change. Anything could change. But I feel like the angels want us to know that there is anything possible. And it's not just possible in the future, it's possible now. Know that you have everything you need now. And now is the time to really find not just happiness in our physical world, but happiness in our souls. to find, justice and truth, and to stand up for what's right and stand up for what we need. This is an important moment for us to see and move forward, fully informed about what we have, fully thankful for what we have, and fully ready to move forward to something great, to something that we're inspired to go after. And this is all guided by a card of supreme power, this judgment card that's telling us, listen, the moment has come where you need to leave behind all the things that have been keeping you down and answer the call of your highest self. So now what do we have? Oh, no, this goes over here. What do we have going on in our psyche? What's in the energetic archetypal wheelhouse for us? So this represents the part of us that is going to be most most active, the part of our collective self that is going to be the most useful, that we're identifying with. And this is great. This is the star. This is wishes fulfilled. This is, yes, we can have everything we want or anything we want. And what we want is pure, and it's good, and it's balanced, and it's in line with the divine. The star is not out of line or out of balance with the divine. The star is in balance with true divinity and light. And this is the part of us that is that divine light. Each of us has that. Each of us, even the ones you hate the most, even the ones you can't stand. The people, the despicable people that you think are ruining the world, all of those people are members of the divine. That doesn't mean that what they've done is right. No, they have some karma they need to fix and make right. It's an opportunity for us all, but we all need to enter into this state of mind where we are all divine. There is divinity here. It is present. Let us all find it. Let's be one with it. Let's move forward knowing that we are one with God. And it is our role and our privilege and our duty to really mesh with God, to really know ourselves as divine as we can, and to live as in a state of purity and bliss and light. So there is that light, that beautiful light, and it's balanced and it's perfect, and it's present here on earth as well as it is present in heaven. So in heaven as on earth, this light is present everywhere. It's not like we have to look away, or we have to find a way to see this light as being present, ever present. So that's a good message for the coming month. The next card is, the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands. We're very spiritual right now. We're doing some spiritual stuff, aren't we? So this is victory. So what I'm getting is that we have been collectively, now even if your life has been pretty good, collectively traumatized, collectively living with trauma, collectively we have lived with parts of our population that have been enslaved and are still being enslaved, human trafficking and all of that. We have lived with parts parts of ourselves who have been disregarded, pushed aside. We have lived with parts of ourselves who have been, just cruel and hurtful to other people, and out of trauma or out of just erroneous thinking. And our world has been traumatized in a way. We've lived in this very cruel sort of black and white, punishing sort of way of life, where where truth and love and beauty and a lot of the things that people just shoot for just don't get a chance, and it's greed that gets to make its way to the top, and it's cruelty and bigotry and a lot of the manipulative evil forces that are controlling us. it's traumatic. We've lived in a world and in a society that we're all pretty traumatized. And I feel like right now we have to remember who we really are. So this card represents what we need a little bit more of, or what we need to think about. And what we need to think about is how we are true victors, that we weren't meant to be victims. We were meant to be victors. We are victors. You are a victor. You are a victor. And no matter what has happened in your life, how difficult and how traumatized or victimized you feel, after you die and you enter into that light, you will see the truth of who you are. You will see the light-filled, beautiful, divine creature that you are. And you will enter the love of God and you will feel worthy of it. And we need to understand that that is where we need to be now, that we need to understand now that we can accomplish what we need. We can accomplish what we want. And it doesn't mean getting what you feel you're inspired to get. Doesn't mean you have to step on anybody else to get there. You're a victor. You're well able to conquer and to do what you want. And another thing I'm getting from this card is the clear message that we have already conquered. We have already done it. It's done. You know, the timelines have shifted so much that we're on this great path of like, it's done. Now it's just, now we need to do it, you know? It's just, you got to follow through with it. It's already done. It's like when in football, I don't watch football, but when they've already won the game, but the clock hasn't run out yet, you just they can let the clock run out. And it's not even a thing. It's like no one's waiting, biting their nails. Like, you know, at that moment when you've already won, you can just let the clock run out if the time is right or whatever. I don't know the rules. But that's where we are. We got to remember that we have conquered. We have conquered. As Jesus said, in the world you have much trouble, but take heart. I have conquered the world. That's what this is. We are members of that body of the Savior, of the divine Redeemer. We are members of that united God. And we just have to remember that if we unite ourselves with that, if we remember who we are, we will conquer. And take this into your everyday life, because it is one of the minor arcana. So that is everyday life stuff. Remember, you are not a victim. You are a victor. And remember to build everyone else up the same way. That's important, that we are collective and there are no victims here. None. People might have felt victimized from the past, but we are divine souls made in the image and likeness of God. And that means we are all victors. And it's up to us to remind each other of that. It's very important. So for my readings, this is always a message. This is always a moment for me to tune in this position and get a message from the angels. And the angels want us to know that there has been a great deal that we have built up in our lives, in our world. Ideas. The swords are the suit of the mind. It's ideas. This is about letting go. This is going to be a challenge that you have to let go of what you thought worked for you before, or what thought worked for other people before, or how you lived before, this get ahead sort of mentality, or the look the other way mentality, where if there's bad stuff going on over here and I can't do anything about it, I'm just going to look the other way. Whatever it is that you've been doing that hasn't been working, let it go. All right. The world needs us to let it go. Let go of stuff. It's time to rise up. You know, it's like when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, you know, there's a new way of going about the world now. The caterpillar can fly. She can fly. That's a thing to do now. Crawling along the floor is not a way to do the life of a butterfly. That's not, you got to let that go. So if we have been playing in victimhood, or playing in separation, or playing in this sort of, I'm just going to wait and see how things go, and I'm not going to really stand up for my truth, whatever it is you're ready to stand up for and take action on, you know, let go of these old ideas that aren't serving you anymore. There are new ideas that are definitely serving you. We're on a spiritual timeline. We're being guided by some really powerful divine energy, and it's time to let go. This is a great card. I love it because it really drives home the point. Like, this guy is not going anywhere. This is absolutely guy who's done. He's done. He's lived his life. He's done his job, whatever it was, and it's done. The card has nothing to do with death. It has to do with the mind and ideas. And the culmination of a mental path means that you have thought of something, you've explored it, you've invented it, you've thought it through, and now it's time to step into something new, to leave that idea behind and move on. It's already in the world. It's like when you read a book. You don't need to read it 100 times unless it's your favorite book and you love to do that. But once you've read a book, you've read the book. You know the story. It's done. You can close it. You can say that was a good book and move on to something new. Or an inventor who's invented something. It's like, I invented this. It's wonderful. I have it. It's complete. There it is. Here's I'm putting into production. But now the inventor has to go and do something else, and invent something else and follow a new path. So that might be a time of like worry and dismay, that we're like, I'm not sure if I can let go of these ideas, as useless as they obviously are to where we're rising up to. It's uncomfortable sometimes to let go. It takes a little bit of grieving to let go of some parts of ourselves, that we thought were so solid. If you really took refuge in the victim and you're not so ready to embrace the victor, that's something you got to let go of. Let go of that victim. It served you, but now it's time to move on. And now it's time for all of us to move on. And our new direction is fighting the good fight. Fighting the good fight, knowing that we can win. Spiritual card again. So this is the creative, the fire, the Holy Spirit. These wands are all about what moves us from the deepest level, That's a real thing. When you really are inspired, when you're really on fire with your creative inspiration to do something wonderful. So the new direction for us is fight the good fight. Take action. So I'm seeing this message is all about taking action. It's all about stepping up, stepping forward, opening yourself, reminding yourself who you are, taking action where you need to take action. And the message, and I'm like almost getting choked up. The message here is victory. This guy's not going to lose. All right. He's got the higher ground. He's standing on the higher ground. These guys can't win. The other guys can't win. The energies coming up against him are destined not to win unless he gives up, unless he just puts down his wand and says, all right, come on. No, he's going to win, but it takes a little action. It takes fortitude. So I think the key words here are victory, divinity and soul. So keywords: divinity, soul, victory, and action and fortitude, because it's going to take action and it's going to take fortitude to keep going through what's coming. I don't know what's coming. I don't see the future, but I do read the energies from right now. And right now what I'm getting is this like tremendous, like angelic cheer coming from heaven that like, yes, you have everything you need. Everything is coming together. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Remember who you are. And put down those burdens and those worries. Put those worries down. Put those things down that haven't been serving you, that don't serve you going forward, that are done. These ideas that, that we have to fight against each other to win. No, maybe that's how sports and various other things work, but that's really not how it works. We help each other. We build each other up. We see the best in each other. The star, we see that. You don't see the dead parts in one another. No, we see the best parts in one another. And when life throws us some curveballs and some difficulties and some obstacles, we keep fighting and we win. And so what's going to happen over this next month and this the upcoming time that this actually refers to, which I asked for a month of, the next 4 weeks or so. What I'm getting is this is going to be a time of moving up, moving on, expansion. This is going to be a fiery time. This is going to be a time of fortitude and action. But it's a time where things are going to be made known. Things that are hidden will be made known. It's a time where people who have been able to get away with things, might have to pay the piper at this point coming up. So my prayer for all of you is that may God bless you and give you the fortitude to really see the best in one another, to see the best in yourself, and to keep going no matter what. To keep following your highest guidance, no matter what, knowing that the angels are cheering for you and knowing that all will be well. Amen, amen, amen. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.